My wife Kinsey is from Edmond, Oklahoma. During our time dating and throughout our marriage, every time I had attended a worship experience in her congregation, I had been filled with joy as I watched little children go over to someone who had a few coins, pick them up, walk them over, and drop them in the green glass jar up at the front. It became an even more joyful experience, seeing our little nieces roam the aisles with their parents, collecting coins and dropping them in the green glass jar. And a few months ago, when visiting Kinsey's home congregation yet again, our 2-year-old Quentin saw the other little ones collecting the coins. And guess what? He wanted to get in on all the action. Kinsey and I lit up as Quentin went around with a smile on his face and a joyful soul, helping collect the monies for the jar. Even now, I am in awe for those little children. As they gave Jesus and his mission their all with excitement and enthusiasm in those moments. I am currently sharing with you from our home in Independence, Blue Springs, Missouri, due to COVID-19. However, as many of us have experienced during these times, God's mission doesn't stop just because we can't meet in person. No one understands this more, from my experience, than our youth. I have the privilege of working with children and youth as a youth minister for Central USA Mission Center. When social distancing measures began, knowing we couldn't meet in person, I knew it was imperative for our kids to still have opportunities to be with one another in community. I called on our local youth council over a meeting on Zoom so we could brainstorm ideas and opportunities for them. Their passion and the desire to continue to be together in ministry was inspiring. Each of their ideas came from the heart, and together we developed a weekly plan to keep 6th through 12th graders actively engaged in fellowship, spiritual growth, and Christ's mission of community. Just like the little children excited to drop the money in a little green glass jar, so are these high schoolers excited to serve God's kingdom with their ideas and a desire to strengthen their discipleship, even in the midst of challenge. About 2 weeks ago, into social distancing, 2 high school youth had an idea to make baked goods for those they cared about. A few days after I had heard about this act of kindness, I was asked what our address was and what our favorite type of cake was. And a few days later, I had received a message asking us to look out our front door. And there it was. A beautifully designed funfetti cake. Delicious. But the blessings from our young people didn't stop there. A few days later, I had received a text from a different family asking what our address was. To our surprise, a yellow Peeps-looking Easter basket appeared for Quentin, filled with a card, homemade cookies, and other goodies. Quentin's eyes lit up with happiness as he explored each treat within the basket. That family's generosity brought so much joy to our hearts as we witnessed Quentin's excitement. Speaking of generosity and Quentin, as we continued in this social distancing way of life we've been participating in, we were engaging in an online worship experience. Throughout the days before this worship, our 2-year-old had been struggling, like many do. And that also meant that mom and dad were also struggling. So patience may have been a little thin, and we as parents may have doubted our own parenting skills. But those thoughts were erased when during the service, Quentin looked at his banana, then at his mama, and he said, "Mama, Nana," offering her one of his last bites. And what did he do immediately after? He said, "Daddy, Nana." Quentin offered up the last of his banana to his mom and me. Even during those times of frustration and struggle, from a 2-year-old's generosity, we were affirmed that maybe we were doing something right, and God's blessing abounds. The feeling of God's blessing through these young people has brought so much hope and happiness to our hearts in a time when it was needed. So why share all these stories of children and youth? What does it have to do with giving? Well, everything. Little children enthused to drop money in the green glass jar. Youth council empowered to shape their own ministries. Hallie, Levi, Katie, McLean, and other youth who dropped off goodies to put a smile and put some hope in the hearts of others. 2-year-old Quentin, who shared all he had in that moment. May we respond as they responded, faithfully, sharing generously. Because in the midst of giving, we receive God's gifts of love, of grace, of hope, and we are engaging in mission. Let us give as the children give, with joy, passion, and a heart filled with love.